now present Martin's Corner.
To the wall, Vic.
Okay, Al.
Don't cry, Baba. I told you I'm going to get you some sweetened water. That'll make you smile. That's better, lovely.
What's she doing in there? That's what I want to know.
Me too.
Might be a cleaner or something.
In that case, should we grab her or should we just pretend that we belong here?
That might be the better idea. Do we see how the cat jumps?
Oh.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Wait a minute. Which of you's Mr. Minute? I don't think neither of you is.
Mr. Minute.
The father.
The father of what?
Bubba in there. I didn't expect Mr. Minute home till 10, but I didn't expect no one else neither. Are you his son or something?
No, but, Mr. Minute asked us to come in and wait for him.
Oh, but you couldn't be his son, of course. Otherwise you'd be Bubba's brother. And that'd be too many years in between. Do you know your way around?
We ought to.
Well, look, I'm going out to get some sweetened water for Bubba. Would you like me to make a cup of tea for you while I'm in the kitchen?
No, thanks, but we'll just go in and see how the baby is.
Oh, good, but don't upset her. Like, she was crying like one thing a minute ago. Crying for Father Minute, I think.
We know how to deal with her.
Oh, then I'll go and boil the water up. Boiled water for babies, you know. Oh, but then maybe your fathers too.
We're not exactly fathers, but we can take care of babies, can't we, Vic?
You bet we can.
No, I can tell. You got a fatherly look in your eyes, both of you. Well, better get that water on to boil. Excuse me.
No trouble at all.
Not at the moment. We got to watch our step. Let's go into the kit.
A babysitter. What's the big idea? How'd she get in here?
I don't know.
Do you reckon she came to the wrong flat or something?
Maybe, maybe not. She seems to be as dumb as they make 'em.
Yeah.
But all the same, we're not taking any chances.
Well, what do you reckon we ought to do?
As soon as she comes back, I think we should shut her up and put her out of harm's way.
You don't mean...
I don't mean the worst, but we could tie her up and shove her in the bathroom, lock her in there, and then make plans about our getaway into the country. I only hope this kid doesn't start howling when we get it away.
Well, we shouldn't have it on our hands for long if you reckon the father's going to come across.
He will, when we stick in that letter. As soon as he gets the idea that something's going to happen to the baby, he'll peel off the money just as quick as he can. You can tell by the story in the papers that he's in a panic already.
Shh. Oh, excuse me, gents. Look, I am a fool.
You're telling me.
Well,
what's upset you?
Well, going into the kitchen to boil up water, turning on the gas and everything, and I haven't got a match. You got a match, mister?
Wait a minute.
Look, I always do the same thing at home. Turn on the gas and then reach for the matches, and then there ain't none. When I finally do find the matches, it's not pop goes the gas, it's bang goes the oven. Oh, thank you very much, mister. How's Baba?
She's all right. Sit down.
Hey?
Sit down.
But I want to go back to the kitchen and light up that gas. I turned it on, you see.
Sit down.
Oh!
That's only a sample. If you don't do as you're told, you get more. Now put your hands behind the chair.
What?
All right, Vic, quick. Tie your hands up with that curtain cord. Don't waste any time. I'll attend to the gag.
Gag?
Now listen to me, ma'am. I'm talking business, and I want you to understand what I'm saying. One peep out of you, and it'll be the last you ever make.
Ain't I babysitting proper? What's made you so angry?
You poor dumb cluck. You wouldn't know what time of day it was, would you?
I never sat with babies before, but I always...
Now, just take things quiet. That's in case you want to rip out a top F to bring everybody to the flat. When we get you inside the bathroom, we'll stop that mouth with sticking plaster just to make a permanent job of it.
And it's no use struggling. Give any trouble, old woman, and we'll do more than lock yous in the bathroom. We'll pitch yous in the bath and fill it with water, so shut up.
As I was saying, Granny Martin, it's going to be just wonderful for all your family when you hook the heiress.
When we what?
Hook the heiress. Kerry Wing. All that money. They say that Miss Nicholson is worth a fortune and that Kerry'll never want her, neither will any husband she ever marries.
Excuse me, Mrs. Ludlow, but I must ask you to stop talking in this way.
Why, Mr. Martin?
Well, I wouldn't like people to think that any son of mine was marrying a girl just for her money.
Ah, but it's very nice all the same. Very convenient, too. Why, if business was bad here and you wanted a little something to tide you over...
Mrs. Ludlow, it's getting very late. I was wondering if you mind if I go off to bed. We have a heavy day tomorrow.
Just as you say, dear, so have we all. My goodness, the work I have to do in my guest house now that I haven't got any help.
Well, I just don't understand why you don't get Mrs. Max to help you, Mrs. Ludlow. She's doing nothing most of the day.
Get Mrs. Max?
Yes.
Get that muddler? Look, Granny Martin, Mrs. Maggs couldn't add 2 and 2 together straight, and when I think of her babysitting, I'll bet you she muddles that up too.
Oh, Mrs. Ludlow, it's a rather simple kind of job.
No matter what's simple, Mrs. Maggs will always botch it up. She can't help it. I wouldn't mind betting she hasn't found the place or that she's lost the key. Or perhaps she's fallen asleep beside the baby and the baby's crying its head off. Mrs. Maggs is the most helpless woman who ever drew breath, and no bones about it.
Well, I don't know about that, dear. She keeps her own house spotlessly clean. She seems to be a good housekeeper. And I'm sure if you want to be relieved of some of your burdens, like, making beds or sweeping floors...
I'd rather do it myself, and then I'd know it was done. It'd be harder work to be running around Mrs. Maggs making sure that she was doing what was right.
Oh, talking of beds, my bed's calling me.
Dear, and me too.
Why don't you both have a cup of tea?
Eh? Oh.
And if you do, I'll have one too. Nothing like a cup of tea to buck you up when you're feeling sleepy. Besides, the night's just a pop.
Not a sound from the bathroom.
Well, that second gag we plastered across our mouth would shut anything up.
Have you got a match? I gave mine to the old woman.
Just a minute. Yes, here we are.
A bit of a smell of gas out here, isn't there?
No worries. We don't need to call no plumber. I'm leaving in a few minutes.
Turn on the gas while I strike a match.